Hi guys, welcome back to LPB Racing for the Porsche series on Project Cars 2. This is the final round, round 7 from Le Mans, the Circuit de la Sarthe, and let's take you through the grid for this first race then. So we've got a few absentees unfortunately. Callum can't make it tonight, and also Cyrix is running a bit late, so he should be here for race 2. And also we have got Bradders who's just disconnected, so very unlucky for Bradders there. So Video is on pole position then. Bidster is alongside him. Then we've got Blakeney 3rd, Pash in 4th. We've got Neil 5th, Stevie in 6th. Fidel makes it in, that should be 7th, and 8th is TY. So let's get on with the race then, guys. Here we go. I know there's only 8 for this first one, but still we should have some fun. Here we go. And we're away. Oh, Neil, what a start. Neil through the middle there, and he's coming he's 4 wide, and he's coming across. Oh, he's hit Pash into Stevie. And Pash gets hit into Stevie and they hit the wall. Meanwhile, the rest of them all go up towards the first chicane. Bidster's in the lead. Video on the inside, defending from Neil Farmack. Fidel having a look at Neil now as we go through the first chicane. So Neil and Fidel alongside each other. Fidel on the outside, Neil on the inside, and now they switched to the inside-outside because we're going through the S's, so inside line varies. But Fidel gets sideways, and Blakeney then takes advantage and goes around the outside of him. TY looking to make amends as well, but Stevie and Pash are at the back. So Stevie and Pash are at the back. Pash is behind Stevie, so that got really quite messy there at the start. So just while we're going on to the Mulsanne straight, we'll get a replay on that for you now. Okay, here's a view of the start on board with TY. Neil's the car that moves first on the left, goes through the middle between Blake and Pash. Then see Neil is moving across and moves across and across into Pash, who then hits Stevie, and then they go into the wall and then end up coming to a grinding halt, but Neil keeps going. So as we come back from that, Bidster then in the lead, Neil in second, then we've got Blakeney and Fidel and TY all together on the straight down towards the first chicane. So building up speed here. Only a 4-lap race because it takes about about 4 minutes a lap in this car. As we go into the chicane, Fidel late on the brakes and loses it into the markers, and Fidel spins round and goes back down to 5th place. He's recovered. Stevie's back there. Oh, Video's off as well. Video's had an off, so Video's got quite a messy car, so he's been off as well. But meanwhile, up front we've got Bidster in the lead, Neil Farmack second, and we've got Blakeney and TY. Look at that, close together, almost wheel to wheel down there. TY the car with the lights on. As we go into the chicane, we go, and TY runs wide. He's Blakeney runs wide, and he's off. Blakeney through there and through the gravel. So everyone having trouble with these chicanes. So Fidel through in 5th. And we've got Stevie, Video and Pash further back, but all kicking off there. So it was so it was Blakeney that went off there. Blakeney goes off, and TY takes 3rd position now. So the top 4 together. So Bidster into Mulsanne corner in the lead. Neil Farmack second. TY 3rd with the lights on. Blakeney 4th. All 4 within 4 seconds of each other. So just a bit of a messy start to this race, which caused a few to spread out, but we should see hopefully some close up as the race goes on, because Fidel's there, but Stevie with the lights on, he'll be wanting redemption after being put in the wall by Neil. So it was Neil did come across there. You can clearly see he did come across. So we'll have to see if there is any pending penalty, but you've got to also admit as well there were 4 wide, so 4 cars into 1 doesn't really go. And I think Neil was just trying to watch at both sides, and then it all ended up kicking off. So just a little tiny misjudgment makes big consequences. So that's what happens, guys, when you go 4 wide down towards the first corner. We didn't even get to the first corner. We went about 100 yards, and they were all in the wall. So all happening now. Bidster's lost a bit of time through Arnage as they come up towards the Porsche curves. Neil Farmack is on the back of him now. So Bidster then through the Porsche curves with Neil Farmack less than a second behind him. Through the Porsche curves we go with Bidster. Through we go. Into one over the curb and then switch direction through the next one. Neil Farmack following suit. So Bidster through the chicane. See the back of the car going out. He's pulled out a gap there. You can see visually the gap pulling out there. Bidster's pulled back another well, probably half a second through there compared to Neil Farmack. So Neil struggling in the Porsche curves and Bidster showing him how it's done. At the end of the first lap, it's going to be Bidster in the lead of the race. Bidster in the lead, then Neil second, TY third, Blakeney in fourth. So we'll have to see. We'll have to keep an eye on the lap times and the gaps. No point looking at the first lap times because that will not give us a reference really on what the pace is. We'll have to wait and see after at the end of this next lap. So 1/4 distance done already and 1 lap done. So 4-lap race here at Le Mans. Stevie with a battered car in 6th. He's trying to close upon Fidel. He's trying his best. And we've got Video back here with a battered car and Pash with a slightly battered car as well. So his teammate Bidster in the lead. Now we have got a fight on for second place in the championship between Stevie and Neil. Neil currently looking like he's going to take the second place because at the minute he's third. So third in the championship, and looks like he's going to take some good points off Stevie here with Stevie back down in 6th place. So fingers crossed for Neil Farmack, but also fingers crossed for Stevie to try and get back up the field. Oh, he's had a little off there. Stevie's had a little off. So he was on the wrong line there, so he must have clipped the curb and maybe half spun or something, but he's recovered it. And onto the straight we go. Down at the first chicane, Bidster's there, then we've got Neil Farmack. Let's have a look further back, we've got Video and Pash. Video doing very well this season. Video in 4th place overall in the championship, on his own a little bit. He's done very well this season. He's a bit of the underrated star of the season really. So he's driven well consistently and getting better with every season that he does with us. So our resident American in 7th place in this race, but he's had a few good results and a lot of consistent sort of mid-range finishes, which has kept him consistent on points, which is what you need to do in motorsport. As we go down the Mulsanne straight, then Blakeney into the chicane. Oh, Neil, stop! Neil's disconnected. His car's just stopped there. Now I can tell you his car's not actually there. Fidel can't see it. None of them can see it. That's Fidel running wide, I think. As oh, they must be able to see it. So Neil has unfortunately disconnected from the race, and that puts TY up to 2nd place then. So TY gets a gift of 2nd place. Neil Farmack, just as we were talking about him as well, ends up disconnecting. Very rare for Neil Farmack to disconnect, so it must be a major problem somewhere. But hopefully he can get that fixed for the 2nd race. So, and I can tell you now that Cyrex will be back for the next race, so he's just confirmed for the next race. So Cyrex will be back for this next one, so we'll see if he can join us for that. Brad has unfortunately disconnected, and I'm not sure whether he's going to get on for the rest of the races today, so we'll see if he can do that. But meanwhile, TY down towards Indianapolis and Arnage. Lights on, Blakeney following. So again, the lap times this time round will give us a guide into who's got the best pace. The only problem with Le Mans is you've got 4 minutes between lap times. So yes, a bit of a wait, but again, lots of action in between usually. But unfortunately in this race we had that big crash at the start, which sort of spread out the field a lot, and Pash and Stevie were the innocent victims in all that. So 7 cars remain here at Le Mans as they go through the Indianapolis with Video up towards Arnage. Let's watch Bidster then through the Porsche curves in the Porsche, ironically. But yeah, through the Porsche curves, we're running this 911 GTE car, the 911 RSR GTE, in these first 2 races. And then in the second 2 races, we are taking out the 1998 winning Le Mans Porsche, the 911 GT1 98. So that's the one that we're taking out. So the GT1 car, sort of similar to the new hypercar rules that are coming in a few months. But Bidster then over the curbs. TY. Let's have a look at the lap times this time round, and this will give us a guide into who's got what pace. Bidster 4:04. TY across the line 4:06. 2/10 is the gap on pace. Blakeney 4:02, so slightly slower than the leading 2, but I would imagine he possibly had a little mistake on that last chicane because he was doing well up to there. Fidel in a 4:04. 4:03 for Stevie. Stevie faster than Fidel, so that could be a battle that develops in the coming laps. So watch out for that as well, guys. Let's watch Pash across the line. Let's see what recovery lap time he can do. He does a 4:07.6 and a 4:10 for Video, so they're a bit more off the pace. Obviously Pash probably battled by the crash that happened earlier, and obviously Neil not in the race anymore. So through out of Tetra Rouge onto the Mulsanne straight, past the trees, the famous trees And then down the actual straight. It's got 2 chicanes in now. Obviously, since 1990, it had 2 chicanes put in it because the speeds before on the full 4-mile straight used to exceed 240 miles an hour in some cars. Really, really rapid. Then they put these chicanes in. It does actually spice up the action as well, because obviously they've got to brake, slow down, provides an overtaking opportunity, and then get the car positioned as well again for the exit. So it really requires good brakes and good acceleration, which this car has in a good all-round package. It's a very nice car, this Porsche, and yeah, you can see why the 911 has stuck around in motorsport for a long time, because it is a cracking little car. So Fidel in 4th place, under pressure from Stevie. He's only 2.5 seconds back. There he is, just gone through the same shot. And also now we've got Video catching up to Pash, or is it Pash going backwards into Video? Whichever way around it is, they're getting closer on track. So Pash with the 1 light on, and Video in 7th place. So, or has Video spun? I've not really been. Oh, Video probably has spun. So. Or something. So Pash is now in front, so we'll just get a replay to clarify that. I'm a bit unsure. Okay, here's a replay mainly for my own benefit of what happened between Video and Pash. So Video goes off on the Porsche curves, clips the grass and goes into the wall, and Pash then goes through on momentum, and Video goes down to 7th and Pash up to 6th. So I was right, they did actually switch places. So as we come back from that, guys, apologies for that. So Pash now into 6th place, Video in 7th. Meanwhile, Fidel and Stevie still the same gap, 2.5 seconds. So Fidel opening it out a little bit, so probably a bit quicker through the chicanes than Stevie was. But Fidel into Mulsanne corner, nice line through there from Fidel. He's new to LPB racing and he's doing well. He won't be able to commit all the time due to work commitments, but he's going to try and make all the races that he can. So good to see him in 4th place, doing a good job. Meanwhile up front, Bidster 2.5 seconds in front of TY. TY keeping the gap consistent to Bidster. Bidster usually loves it round this circuit, so he does like this Le Mans circuit, feels quite at home here. As we go out of Arnage, TY though feeling just as at home and looking for equalling his personal best of the season, a 2nd place. So a good 2nd place so far for TY. Let's see if he can hold it and see if he can catch Bidster towards the end. But Bidster now the gap up to 3 seconds. So just Bidster edging the gap ever so slightly. It's all he needs to do. Just keep the car on track and just consistently try and pull out that gap without pushing too hard. Through the Porsche curves we go. Over the curb into the 2nd part and through the long right-hander, which tightens up on itself, and then you got this kink left. Nicely over the curves there from Bidster. And TY not using much of the curves, but still very fast pace for TY as well. And he keeps the gap more or less the same, 2.8 to 3 seconds. So equal through there. We'll watch the lap times this time round, but we'll just have a quick look back to Fidel and Stevie. They're still 2.5 seconds apart, so not much change there. And Pash is still ahead of Video with a 1.8 second gap. Let's watch the lap times then. 3:58.8 for Bidster into the 3:58s, and TY faster, 3:58.3. So TY pulling out some time here, and he's gaining on Bidster, but he needs to gain at a bit more of a rapid rate than that with only the last lap remaining now. Last lap of this race at Le Mans. Up and over the curb, TY over the curb on the exit, trying to use as much speed as we can. TY, good lap last time round. 4:02 for Blake, 4:01 for Fidel, and a 4:01 for Stevie as well. Fidel has matched Stevie's pace, but he's gone wide. He's gone wide. The LPB Racing rookie has gone wide, and that could help Stevie close in, and it has. The gap is now under 2 seconds. Back to Blake. He's still trying to catch up in front and not lose to behind. So Fidel 4.4 back and TY 8.3 in front. But TY is the man that's chasing down Bidster. As we go down the straight, there we are, the camera angle I like. The centre of the car, down the Mulsanne straight. You can see the speed building as we get ready to brake for the first chicane. Brake into the apex, and it goes off that camera unfortunately. TY's lost it! He's lost it! He's half spun! TY's half spun, and Blake is not close enough to capitalise, but TY's blown his chance now of passing Bidster. Bidster's got a bit of a gap now, so he can sort of breathe a little bit. but TY loses it and goes round there, or half goes round, so TY spins, stays in second place, Blaney still in third, and Fidel still being chased down by Stevie. Bidster at the next chicane, he'll have seen that TY's spun on his data, so Bidster will probably, he'll still keep going at a good pace, but he'll not need to push as hard as what he were doing last time, unless he wants that fastest lap. So, but again, we don't actually get data for that in the race unless you run the app, but some people not choosing to run it. Bidster doesn't choose to run it, he just runs his own race. So, down to the bottom we go. Meanwhile, Fidel still with Stevie 2.8 back, and Passion Video again with a bit more of a gap in this one. So sorry, it's not as entertainment from a battle point of view in this one, guys. But you've got to admit there is some good pinpoint driving here. Now we've got the car. Obviously now the cars are up to speed and everything, and all the tyres are pretty much bedded in. So it is some really good pace and some good show of racing line here. As we go down with Bidster down towards Indianapolis and Arnage. Down to the bottom we go. Onto the brakes, down a gear, into the right-hander and squirming for Bidster. He's still pushing, he must be going for that fastest lap over the curb. He is pushing for that fastest lap. In towards Arnage we go. And braking, down the gears, second gear, up over the curb, out of the corner, get the par straight and go, go, go. TY now doing the same. Let's watch TY's version round Arnage. Brakes, curb, power, similar to Bidster, very similar indeed. Meanwhile, Fidel, Stevie's caught right up to the back of Fidel. It's under a second, it's almost half a second. You can see the visual gap there. Stevie closing in on the LPB Racing rookie Fidel. Stevie applying the pressure, wants more points after what happened on the first lap. So Neil's disconnected, so this will help Stevie out with points here. But how many more points can he get? Can he get some more off of Fidel? As you go down towards the Porsche curves, Bidster's just coming out of the exit of the Porsche curves, and he's coming towards the line to looks like to take another victory this season for the champion. Fidel in fourth still, pressed on by Stevie as we go through the Porsche curves. Through we go, round the left, round the right, and Bidster's coming round the left, round the right as well. Oh, it's half spun. Oh, careful, Bidster, don't lose it now. Bidster has a heart attack moment at the last corner, but crosses the line to take victory in the first race at Le Mans. Well done to Bidster. TY is going to be a well-deserved second place. Well done to TY. Blaney is going to be third. Definitely third for Blake. But look at Fidel and Stevie still pushing up to the last corner. Oh, Stevie's lost it. Stevie's gone round. Stevie's gone round at the last corner, trying too hard. Fidel gets fourth place. And Stevie then finds reverse. And now he's got to find first gear quick before Pash comes and loses the car. And down to fifth place goes Stevie, but we've got to give him points. Points for effort. Well done for trying. And Pash in sixth place. Not a bad recovery after being wiped out at first. And Video across the line in seventh place. So we'll just get those results confirmed for you now, guys. Okay guys, here's the results on that after that race then. So Bidster wins, well done to Bidster, and it's second place for TY, and then it's third for Blake with Fidel in fourth place. Stevie spins down to fifth, he was challenging Fidel for fourth but ends up in fifth. Then it's Pash in sixth place and Video down in seventh with Neil disconnecting from the race. So there's your winner of that race, Bidster. Well done to Bidster, kept out of trouble, avoided all the first lap incidents and gets the win. So well done to Bidster, and we will see you guys next time for race 2 again in these cars, and we should have a few more people next time. So okay, see you next time guys. Take care.